It's a new day in the workroom, and I'm back after being eliminated from the snatch game. I didn't perform my best, but the elimination gave me time to reflect and compose myself. Although I've been gone for 3 episodes, it felt like an eternity. However, I hold no grudges against Lashana. She did what she had to do. Still, I would like a one-on-one with her to clear the air, and I hope she's open to it as well.
The queens gather in the workroom, offering congratulations to Peter and Stewie for their win and top 2 placement, and welcoming back Jessica. They thank them. Lashana expresses her surprise at not being in the top, but Peter cuts her off, proclaiming that the House of Griffin slayed. Lashana confronts Peter about his attitude, warning him not to cut her off, but Peter does so again, asserting that his is the attitude of a winner and suggesting the other queens might as well give up because the crown is destined for Quahog. Stewie agrees, but jests that it's Peter who will be the runner-up, as he intends to win. Mrs. Garrison laughs, claiming she will be the victor and has already reserved a place for the crown and scepter in her drag room. Starmie interjects, declaring her intention to win and that she's reserved space for another crown. Mrs. Garrison retorts that Starmie needs to win more challenges first. Unfazed, Starmie advises Mrs. Garrison to keep an eye on her, as she's been observing and is now ready to excel. Meanwhile, Jessica approaches Lashana, requesting a private conversation, to which Lashana agrees.
I'm curious about what she wants. I did send her home during the snatch game, which was when I actually won a challenge here. I was nearly there last week, but Peter. I can't wait for the moment he's in the bottom because he's getting on everyone's last nerve, even Stewie's.
Lashana inquires what Jessica wished to discuss. Jessica apologizes for her recent behavior, blaming Lola's influence, and expresses no resentment for being eliminated by Lashana. She also questions why Lashana chose to send her home. Lashana accepts the apology, explaining she felt a stronger connection with Peppa than with Jessica. Jessica appreciates the honesty and vows she's a changed queen without Lola's presence. Lashana then questions how close Jessica is with Peter. Jessica admits they've grown quite close since season 6. When asked if Peter was always this arrogant, Jessica confirms he was, but it's intensified now. Lashana declares if she's in the top and Peter is in the bottom, she'll eliminate him. Jessica assures her the secret is safe, but Lashana boldly states she'd confront Peter directly. Jessica laughs and suggests Lashana should test his reaction immediately. They rejoin the other queens.
I'm relieved that we've cleared the air. She accepted my apology and admitted her eagerness with sending Peter home. Peter is my season 6 sister, and I'm close to him. He even brought me back into this competition over his own daughter, which has earned my respect. However, I'm eager to see how things unfold with him and Lashana.
Peppa inquired about the situation from Lashana, who shared that Jessica wanted to apologize for her recent actions, blaming Lola's influence. Peppa Pig said she also wants to apologize for her constant crying. Peter, rolling his eyes, reminded everyone that this wasn't RuPaul's best friend race but a competition. Lashana retorted, eager to be the one to eliminate him, but Peter, with a laugh, claimed he was untouchable and would be the one to eliminate her and claim a record 5th win. Starmie pointed out that everything hinged on the challenge day and asked the queens about their expectations for the next challenge. Peppa Pig hoped for another comedy challenge, while Peter wished the same, not for Peppa, but to see himself and Stewie in the top 2. Then, a producer instructed the queens to prepare for the mini-challenge.
I'm feeling great today. It's a bit different not hearing Lola's shady comments in the workroom. They do make me giggle, however, that girl wasn't ready to come back so soon. I hope to see her again. Meanwhile, we have Peter's large ego to compensate for Lola's absence. He's beginning to annoy everyone. I'm pretty neutral towards the other queens who aren't in my alliance, but I find myself disliking Peter more each time he speaks.
Lashana wins the mini-challenge.
Securing this mini-challenge win is a small but significant morale boost for the upcoming maxi challenge. I desperately need another win, with only 7 of us remaining. Any mistake could be catastrophic. I'm hoping for a dance or another design challenge, anything where I can excel. Because I need to get him out, and if I have to convince the other queens to do so, then so be it.
My all-stars, strike the runway, hit the pose. Because this week's maxi challenge you will bring it to the runway. Category is, Elements of Nature. Now good luck and don't F it up.
Oh RuPaul, now you're talking. A runway challenge. Not just any runway. It's an Elements of Nature runway. Oh, you know what element my runway will be inspired by. You guessed it. Fire. I'm kidding, of course it's water. It's about to get a little wet up in here.
The queens gather again, and Peppa excitedly tells them she can't wait for the challenge, boasting that her runway look will be stunning. Peter laughs and tells Peppa that her runways have been disastrous, which Peppa starts crying. Lashana glares at Peter and scolds him and said, "Look what you did." Peter says he doesn't care and begins preparing for the challenge, with Stewie joining him, followed by Mrs. Garrison and Jessica Rabbit.
I'm quite self-aware that my runways haven't been impressive, my movie didn't do well. I'm not as financially stable as before. I attempted to lighten the mood, but Peter spoiled it and made me cry. I realize this has been irritating the queens, though this time it wasn't my fault. However, my runway look is stunning, inspired by the element of earth. I adore the earth and mud, especially those muddy puddles.
Lashana and Starmie discuss the challenge. Lashana compliments Starmie's runway, calling it absolutely stunning, to which Starmie expresses her gratitude. Lashana remarks that Starmie has always been the runway queen, especially during her season. Starmie giggles, claiming she had no competition in runways, but admits, while laughing, that she did face some from Goofy and Daffy Duck. Curious, Starmie inquires about Lashana's runway inspiration. Lashana reveals she chose the element of fire to demonstrate to RuPaul the passion she possesses to win the crown. Starmie praises Lashana's runway as absolutely beautiful, and Lashana thanks her. Peppa, still in tears, asks for their opinion on her outfit. After exchanging glances, they assure Peppa it looks nice. Peppa thanks them and apologizes for crying, but Starmie and Lashana comfort her, saying this time it wasn't her fault, leading to a moment of bonding.
I love these queens, they've been there for me from day one. I know they have my back here, and I have theirs. I'm aware they are probably tired of my crying, but they never show it. I love them.
I love Peppa, but I'm tired of her constant crying. We all are. It's hard to decide what's worse, Peter's ego or Peppa's tears.
Mrs. Garrison looked at Peter and asked if he thought he was being a bit harsh towards Peppa. Peter responded to Mrs. Garrison, saying it was just a bit of shade and he didn't care about Peppa Pig, she shouldn't have been there in the first place. Stewie interjected, noting that there's a difference between throwing shade and being outright mean. Peter, ignoring Stewie's comment, inquired about his runway inspiration. Stewie, shaking his head, revealed he was inspired by the element of time. Peter commended the idea and shared that he was inspired by the element of shadow. Stewie then turned to Jessica and Mrs. Garrison, questioning if Peter was satisfied with his choice. Peter affirmed he was, prompting Jessica to comment on its beauty. Grateful, Peter asked about Jessica's runway. Jessica presented her outfit, leaving Mrs. Garrison astonished, who praised its beauty and inquired about her inspiration. Jessica explained she was inspired by the element of ice, choosing to take a risk by not using her signature color red. She then asked Mrs. Garrison about her inspiration, and Mrs. Garrison disclosed that her design was inspired by the element of thunder. Jessica complimented Mrs. Garrison's runway piece, declaring it beautiful.
Wow, I believe Peter is even more determined to win than I am, which is quite a statement since I'm extremely determined. I've already made room in my drag space for the crown and scepter after I received the All-Stars call. With my runway look this week, I'm hoping it will bring me closer to victory, especially since last week I was only safe, and the week before, I was at the bottom, largely due to Lola's sabotage. However, it's fantastic to have Jessica back and not have Lola around.
Before the runway, Mrs. Garrison and Jessica share a moment, reflecting on their journey in All-Stars and their alliance. Mrs. Garrison acknowledges the wild ride they've had, and Jessica concurs, describing her elimination as an emotional roller coaster that ultimately reignited her passion, making her return stronger than before. Mrs. Garrison expresses admiration for Jessica's resilience and confidently predicts her place in the top for the night. Jessica expresses her gratitude, and in a lighthearted exchange, Mrs. Garrison teases her about a previous, Untucked, episode where Jessica had playfully threatened to send her home. Jessica laughs it off, assuring Mrs. Garrison it was all a joke and that she would never eliminate her friend. They hug, solidifying their bond. Peter and Stewie start preparing for the runway. Peter shares his pride in Stewie and apologizes again for being too controlling. Stewie forgives him, expressing a wish that Meg could be there. Peter assures him that he'll see her soon. When Stewie inquires what he means, Peter vaguely mentions a possible video message and embraces Stewie, who is skeptical, returns the hug.
I'm not sure what he meant by that. I think the pressure of the competition might be affecting him. All I know is that I need to stay on top, and I believe my runway performance tonight could secure that position for me.
Lashana, Starmie and Jessica Rabbit slayed the challenge.
I absolutely devoured the runway, as I always do. I wanted to mix things up and take a risk, and I believe it may have paid off for me. Thank you, Peter, for bringing me back. I hope I have justified your decision.
Stewie, Mrs. Garrison, Peter Griffin had a great performance.
The judges appreciated my runway. They weren't overwhelmed as usual, but I hope it's sufficient to secure my position. After all, I am considered the biggest threat here, and supposedly, my ego isn't winning any favors with the queens at the moment. But let them talk. Not everyone can boast of having 4 wins like I do. 7 in total from season 6 as well.
Peppa Pig had a good performance.
The judges disliked my runway, leaving me devastated. They claimed it was ripped, yet I had consulted Starmie and Lashana before hitting the runway because I sensed a draft, and they reassured me it was fine. I'm so upset right now.
Before the judging, Peppa Pig approached Starmie and Lashana, asking why they lied about her outfit being torn. Lashana explained they lied because Peppa wouldn't have had enough time to fix it and might have torn it further. Peppa insisted Lashana would have helped, but Lashana told her no and that she needed to focus on her own runway. As Peppa began to cry again, Starmie told her that everyone had had enough of her tears, she needed to compose herself and face the judges like a true queen. Peppa ignored her and walked away. Welcome to the judges panel. First, she is our all-star resident judge, she is Daphne, and our extra special guest judge, Season 4 and All-Stars 1 Runway Challenge winner and alumni, it's Bugs Bunny. Now let the judging commence. Jessica Rabbit and Starmie, congratulations, you are the top 2 All-Stars.
Oh my god, thank you so much, this means everything to me. After being eliminated and then brought back, to now be in the top is amazing. Thank you, and to Peter, I owe you one for bringing me back.
Thank you for my second top placement of the season. Having won the first lip sync, I feel confident about competing against Jessica. Although she wasn't renowned for her lip syncing skills in season 6, she may have improved since then. I warned the other queens to keep an eye on me, and here I am at the top. Thank you once again.
Lashana, good job, you are safe.
I aimed for the top spot, and my runway was spectacular, but honestly, Starmie and Jessica Rabbit were top tier. I'm pleased to have had that moment with Jessica today. We cleared the air, and I'm genuinely happy for her top placement. Seeing Peter in the bottom is even better. I hope he's up for elimination.
That means, Mrs. Garrison, Peppa Pig and Peter Griffin, you are the bottom queens. Mrs. Garrison, you are safe.
Thank you, RuPaul. This is the last time you will see Mrs. Garrison in the bottom. I know I said that last time, but this time, I mean it.
2 top all-stars stand before me. Ladies, the time has come. Would you lip sync for your legacy?
I think my time is done here. I've had a fantastic journey, minus the crying, but this is my 4th time in the bottom. I'm here with Peter, who is the front runner with 4 wins. Thank you for having me back, RuPaul.
I'm not too worried. I think Starmie will play fair and go off track record, whilst Jessica said she owed me a favor for bringing her back, and here is my favor I need, and we are seasoned sisters. Goodbye, Peppa Pig.
The lip sync song is I Feel Love by Donna Summer. Both Jessica and Starmie had a great lip sync and Jessica kissed Bugs Bunny. Starmie.
You're a winner, baby.
Jessica Rabbit.
You are also a winner, baby. With great power comes great responsibility.
Starmie.
Which queen have you chosen to get the chop?
One of these queens is a major threat in this competition, whilst the other is one of my close friends here. But I want to beat the best, and that's why I am sending home Peppa Pig.
Jessica Rabbit.
Which queen have you chosen to get the chop?
One of these queens has faced 4 bottom placements, and the other is my season 6 sister, who brought me back into this competition, for which I am so grateful. The queen I am sending home tonight is Peter Griffin.
As it is written, so it shall be done.
Peter Griffin. Peppa Pig.
You are an all-star. Now, sashay away.
Lois, I'm coming home. No crown again. Hashtag robbed. Screw you, Jessica.
Thank you so much. I'm crying right now. What's new? See you around.
This is Untucked.
The queens offer their congratulations to Jessica and Starmie for their win, expressing their gratitude. Lashana thanks Jessica for eliminating Peter, to which Jessica explains she chose him for his excessive arrogance and poor attitude. The queens inquire why Starmie eliminated Peppa over Peter. Starmie responds that her decision was based on track records, and despite Peter's arrogance, he deserved to stay more than Peppa. She adds that she's relieved he's gone and commends Jessica for her impressive lip sync. Mrs. Garrison humorously remarks that she was unaware Jessica could lip sync so well, given her previous performances in Season 6 weren't remarkable. Jessica laughs, attributing her improvement to her experience hosting Cartoon Drag Race Down Under and observing the performances of the queens there. Noticing Stewie's quietness, Lashana checks on him. Stewie admits his shock at his father's absence and being the last Griffin left. The queens console him, affirming that he's proven his worth over the past 3 weeks. Jessica tells Stewie that he has stepped it up, and Stewie expresses his thanks. They all continue to bond and enjoy their cocktails until their moment is interrupted by someone approaching them. Bugs Bunny arrives, congratulating everyone for making it this far and hugs Stewie, reminiscing about the time since Season 4. Stewie echoes the sentiment, pleased to reunite. Bugs then addresses the queens, inquiring if nerves are setting in as the finale looms. Mrs. Garrison acknowledges the tension, noting that only 3 have reached the finale in their respective seasons. Starmie, with a giggle, points out only one of them won their season, prompting laughter from Mrs. Garrison, who jests it'll remain Starmie's singular victory. Curious, Bugs questions Starmie's return to All Stars despite her reigning status. Starmie expresses her desire to demonstrate her continued prowess alongside the formidable queens, to the delight of fans and peers alike. Lashana commends Starmie, affirming her dominance and front-runner status with her second win. Bugs, seeking clarity on the current front-runner, turns to Stewie and asks if it's him. Stewie said no and, humbly defers to Mrs. Garrison. With a final round of congratulations, Bugs exits as the production cues the close. Stewie mentioned it was great to see Bugs Bunny again and shared with the queens that he's really nervous about next week. When Lashana asked why, Stewie explained that, as Mrs. Garrison pointed out, only 3 of them had made it to the finale in their respective seasons, and he wasn't one of those 3, having been eliminated just before the finale. Jessica echoed his sentiments, also revealing she was cut right before her finale, and acknowledged that this is a strong top 5, with everyone deserving their spot in the finale. Mrs. Garrison agreed, noting it will be difficult to send someone home. The queens laughed and reminded Mrs. Garrison that she must first win a lip sync to eliminate someone. They all laughed and raised a toast to making it to the top 5 and to not having Peter around.
Hey, squirrel friend. When one video ends, just open up another one. It's called binge viewing. Go ahead. I support you.